Hey guys, coming back to you to discuss the big news of the Cleveland Cavaliers. And that news is Max Strus was traded for Peyton Watson from the Denver Nuggets. We finally got that small forward player that we've been really missing out on. He had a career year last year. He shot over 40% from three, averaged almost 15 points, but 14.8 points per game. And his defense is just phenomenal. And even in when Joker, I think when he was hurt last season, and for some of the games that he had to sit, Peyton was averaging 22 points in that span. So this guy's a baller. Each season he's gotten better. I think his rookie season, I think he averaged 3, then went to 6, 8, and 14. So you're seeing the progression as more opportunity comes. His game is expanding, and this is exactly what the doctor ordered because we have no body at that size that can legitimately guard wings without getting shot over, having the bigs to extend to come over to help. So this is really phenomenal. I'm excited for it to happen, but I am going to miss Max Strus because he's been here for a while. And one thing that you can say about Max is that he came to play every game. Every game he came to play. May not shot the ball always well, but one thing you couldn't ever question was his want, his will, his overall effort. Always, even when he was on the bench, you can see him still being engaged, involved in the plays, and we needed that because, as everyone has always pointed out, that we lack that as a whole unit, as a team. And when Max wouldn't play, you would see it would be even more of a letdown of just energy, ferocity, just attitude. It would be missing. And when Max will have his shot on, it will be great because when he would get hot, he'll get hot. Dude can shoot anywhere, but he was streaky, and he was, I think, 6'5", so still undersized. As much as he played his heart, played with grit, sometimes he was still with Jason Tatum's. He would get torched by Jaylen Brown's. He's just too small. And he's probably more of a natural two guard than a small forward, but that's just the position he's been playing in because Donovan Mitchell's in the two, and at the point it was Darius and now James, so he just has to slide over. So I do think his natural position is a two guard, but overall he will be missed because, like I stated before, his absence was felt, and you even saw in the playoffs, when there will be times where it will just be lulls, he will come in and shake some boots. He really would. He like to get some fire, ignites. It's like wake up. So and he knew how to get under the other team's skin, and you need players like that. But at but at the same time, it will be moments where we need offense. And in the playoffs, it's been a couple of games where he will come up with a donut, maybe 5-7 points. And again, when you're in the playoffs, and especially at a small forward, you cannot have that. Like, your defense is going to have to eventually turn into some type of offense. And there'll be times where Max couldn't shoot in the ocean. So I think this is why you pivot off of him as much as you probably didn't want to, because his experience, again, his holding probably his teammates. He was probably one of those players that actually held his teammates accountable, let them know like some of the games that they lost, they shouldn't have lost. Where's our focus? Where's the discipline? He was one of those players, and as I stated before, he's definitely going to be missed. But every time the playoffs come around, we can't score, and you're not going to be able to get where you want to go if you barely can sometimes crack 100. They go every season in the postseason, they struggle to score. You got to find some type of remedy. So now you bring in Peyton Watson, who the Cavs have been. It took August 19th till August 19th to finally get this done. But say what you will, say what you want about them, but that's why I just kept trying to stay pat, because these things like this take time. It was a financial situation, and you had to figure out the figures. That's why they get paid that, but it was complex. If it was that easy, it would have been had happened. But, people get anxious because you've seen the landscape of the Eastern Conference, and you kind of felt like you were probably falling out of contention. And at that moment, you kind of were, because you lost Dean Wade, who went to the 76ers. You lost Keon Ellis, who went to the Brooklyn Nets. You didn't really do much this offseason. And then, like I said, every other team around you did get better. So you had Cavs fans anxiously waiting, seeing what was going to be done. And it didn't help when Jake Fischel made that post. No, it wasn't even a post. I think he went on a podcast or something and stated that he wondered if James Harden was going to get kind of antsy with the weight gain, because at that point it had been like around August 14th, 13th, maybe August 12th, and nothing had been done. So he had wondered, and he said that he knew that James Harden was eventually going to get paid, but he just wondered what was James Harden and his camp getting, a little antsy and getting tired of waiting. And then people ran with that and started re-quoting things. And I didn't really pay it that much attention because, again, I actually listened to what he said. It was nothing that was set in stone that was what was going on. He wondered. People don't listen, let alone read. So you had people starting to get frantic again, saying that the Cavs offseason was going to be an F and all that type of thing. And I'm like, can you just wait and see? If we get to the, training camp and nothing's going on, then yeah, you can start getting a little kind of like, what's going on? Because, training camp's around. That's when you're supposed to be getting your team acclimated with one another. So I can see that. But it was still some time. Calm down. And as you can see on August 19th, a deal has been done for Peyton Watson. I'm excited because I think he fits what we lack. If he can shoot 40% from 3 this year, we're going to cook. On top of being able to legitimately guard, I think he can guard through 1 through 4. So that's going to help Evan and Jared not have to always come up to come help Donovan and James. And probably possibly having Peyton Watson, that can help, Spider get some steals, because you can overplay a little bit because you got Peyton Watson on the wings. So it opens up a lot of opportunities. So now all we have to do now is just see if there's one more piece that we can do. But this was the piece. After missing out on LeBron, this is what we have been waiting for. It was either between Jonathan Kuminga or it was between Peyton Watson. And it looks like they went, clearly it doesn't look like they did. They went towards the Peyton Watson route. I think Jonathan Kuminga is the better overall scorer, player. But I think Peyton Watson fits what we're trying to do a little bit better because he's a good catch and shoot. And I think Jonathan will still want to have that ball in his hand a little bit more because he's a scorer. That's who he is. He's not a catch. He's just he has too much offensive skill set just to be a catch and shoot player. That's disservicing him, and it's probably going to keep preventing him to get what he's trying to get. So I understand why they went in this direction, and I'm actually excited for it. Now we can start finally putting together what our team is going to look like and start, training camps about a month away, a few weeks, because September will be here soon. And now we know, and I think that now you can start putting Cavs back into that upper echelon. They still have to go prove prove it in the playoffs, because that's where they've have flatlined, even though we made an advancement. But still, everybody knows that wasn't a good overall playoff run. It was very hard to watch. You don't have to rehash it, but we made an improvement. And that's what's, and as long as we keep trying to improve and trying to get better, that's all you can hope for. And now it's on for the players to come and put that all together. But I can't wait to see this. I can't wait to see, because before the 64 win season, when JB, I know say what you want about JB, but I miss that version of when JB Bickerstaff was the coach, where defense was a part of the identity. I know at the same time the offense wasn't the best either, because it was so Donovan Mitchell my apologies. It was focused around Donovan Mitchell, but we still had a defensive identity. And we need to get some of that back. But if Peyton Watson can replicate what he did last season, that will be beautiful. Because what we've always had was we're always having specialists. Either you're a shooter who is a magnificent shooter, or you're either a defensive specialist who literally has zero to no offensive bag. And they always wanted Dean Wade to have that, but again, I've said this 1,000 times, and I'll say it again. When Dean Wade would shoot, and he actually could shoot, he can probably get 10 to 12 points. But let him miss a couple of shots, he wouldn't shoot it, and that would be for several games. You can't have that. So now and even when you had Isaac, perfect example. He was our best point of attack defender, but he couldn't shoot a lick when it really mattered. In the regular season, he was cool. He shot actually decent percentage in the corner threes. But when it came in the playoffs, people left him open, and his real shooting percentage returned. And he couldn't shoot a lick. So now, hopefully, if Peyton Watson can replicate that, you get that defense, and then you can get some offense. And that's what we've been missing. Someone who can help Donovan, someone who can help James, someone who can help Evan. Just get some more athleticism, being able to cut to the rim, being able to create their own shot. And then at the same time, being able to be in the pocket to be able to let that ball fly. That's what we've been lacking. And if he can consistently do what he did last year and bring that same type of energy here, we're talking. And I like what we're doing. I just hope Evan Mobley comes back with some muscle. I hope his handle got a little bit more control. And just a little bit of a better overall game. I need him to bump that 18 to 20. That's what I want him to do. 20 to 22. He's talented enough. Half the time when he would be at 18 points, he had like six opportunities at the free throw line that he missed. That can be almost 24 to 26 points. He's capable of doing it. He just has to be consistent. So I'll leave you guys with this. I'm excited for what's to come. Please share and subscribe. Let's Talk Cavs. And I will be coming back to you guys soon to update you guys with more information when anything drops. Again, please subscribe and share. Let's Talk Cavs. And I'll see you guys soon. Let's go Cavs.